Now I'm sure by now everyone has defeated all of the bosses for the Haunting event, or at least had the opportunity to complete some of them. So in today's video guys, we're going to be using 3 categories to rate each boss out of 5, and these will be based on the difficulty of the boss, how fun it was to complete, and how good the rewards were. And then we're going to give each boss an overall score which has a maximum of 15 points. But just before we dive in, if you do end up enjoying the video, please do smash the like button and drop your thoughts below in the comments, as it helps me out a lot and I'd love to know how each of you found this year's Halloween event. So starting off, we have the Ghost Train. Now I can't lie, the Ghost Train itself looked flipping sick, so massive props going out to them on that one. But in terms of the difficulty, I'd have to rate it at 2.5, as it's not really that hard. All you need to do is navigate your way through the train carts, as there are booby traps and turrets on there, so in a way, yes, it can be difficult, but as long as you have a teammate watching your back, you'll be able to get through this with no issues. Now in terms of how fun it was, I'd have to give this a 2, as it's pretty basic and just essentially moving from cart to cart, so nothing to really be overexcited about. I mean, yes, it does keep you on your toes, but once I completed it, me personally, I never found myself wanting to go back and redo it. And then we have the rewards, where I'd have to give this a 1.5, and the reason for this is you don't really get much apart from the cash, which is fine, but what I mean is the main reward is the necklace you get from Lilith, which is the character from the game Diablo, but this only gives you 6,660, and if you compare it to some of the other rewards on this, then this one just doesn't even come close, which means the overall score for the Ghost Train is a 6 out of 15. So next up in the list we have the Butcher. Now this boss was very cool to do. You first have to activate 6 trials which made zombies spawn in, and as you can see, I actually didn't end up taking them all out, as I thought there was no point in wasting your ammo on them, as you can just pretty much walk around in circles while waiting for these trials to finish. I mean, the only thing I'd say is keep an eye out for other players, as they could actually snipe you from a distance just as you're about to finish up, meaning you've done all that hard work for pretty much nothing. But once you're done, you can go through this portal and the boss battle will begin. Now he's pretty beefy, so he does take a while to kill, especially if you're only running a 2-player team like myself, but just run around in circles and shoot him and he will die eventually. But again, other teams can spawn in through the portal and either take you out or help you defeat the boss, and this is where the game changer is. So for that reason, I'd score the difficulty as a 4, and then in terms of how fun this mode was, I would actually give this a 3.5. Yes, the tactic to kill him is pretty simple, he is just a bullet sponge, but the overall experience was actually very enjoyable, so I think a 3.5 is a fair score. And the reward you get for killing him is a Butcher Cleaver, which you can sell for 66,000, so it's definitely more than worth your time, and I think a 4 is a fair score in this one, which means the overall score for the Butcher is going to be 11.5 out of 15. Next up we have the Swamp Creature. Now me personally, I found this one really cool. The boss area was done very well, but yeah, you need to pretty much search through these pods until you come across a golden tiara, and when you do, you need to sacrifice it, which in return spawns in 3 of these swamp creatures. Now once you take them out, you can go ahead and pick up a prized golden tiara, which you can go ahead and sell for 100k. Now this for me is fantastic, as 1, they don't even take long to kill, and 2, you can get 100k, so if you're looking to go do all of the bosses in one run for example, then you'll have tons of money to keep you afloat. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and give the difficulty for this a 3. And then for how fun this was, I'm also going to give this a 3. And then in terms of the reward, because you get 100k, I'm going to have to give this a 5, which means the overall score for this one is going to be 11 out of 15. Now moving on to the next boss, we have the UFO. Now this one here was very fun to do as well, and it kind of gave me that Infinite Warfare Spaceland Zombies nostalgia. And I also love how the structure was set into 3 phases. Now phase number 1 is you need to shoot the electric magnetic ball, and then for phase 2 it then splits up into 3 mini balls, and then for phase 3 it actually spawns in a whole UFO, which you then need to go ahead and take out. However, when you actually go ahead and defeat the UFO, the fun doesn't stop there. You then need to go ahead and pick up an artifact that it drops, and you need to deposit this into a portal to complete the entire process. Now the reward for doing this is actually very cool. You get an ultra secret alien, which goes for around 100k, and I believe it was a part of some meme or something like that. But yeah, as you can see, we didn't actually get the alien. I just ended up missing it like an idiot, as I didn't see it at the time, and other teams started attacking us as they wanted the artifact for themselves, which I did not appreciate kindly. But yeah, the difficulty, I would definitely give this a 3.5, and then I would give a rating of 4 for the fun side of things. And then for the rewards, I'd have to give it a 1.5, as I didn't really get anything since I missed it. But to be honest, if I do include the reward of the alien, then I'd have to give this an easy 5, which means my score would be a 9 out of 15. But but the score including the alien would have been a 12.5 out of 15. And then lastly, we have the Pharoah boss. Now I left this boss until last because this is truly the hardest one I actually came up against. The boss arena is sick. You have to navigate through some Egyptian ruins, and then you need to collect these red cursed skulls. So you actually need 10 in total in order to release the Pharoah boss. Now the enemies come in packs and they do a ton of damage, so I definitely recommend you have at least a teammate with you on this one. And in my game, I actually had to defeat multiple teams in order to complete this. But yeah, once you get 10 souls, you need to place them on the tomb and it's going to release the Pharoah boss. Now there are two ways of approaching this. You can either leave him alone and he's going to give you some pretty decent loot, or you can do what I did, and that was get the better loot first and then kill him, so that way you get to experience both sides of things in one playthrough. Now for the difficulty, I'm going to give this a 5, and then for the fun rating, I'm also going to give this a 4.5, as it was very interesting, lots of drama going inside of the tombs, and it definitely kept me on my toes throughout the entire time I was in there. And then for the reward, you get around 45 to 50k cash and a really cool haunted box, which I believe is just a munitions box with a Halloween skin applied. But again, I don't have any footage of this because I didn't actually end up using it. I only found out what it was after I'd actually exfilled, so a massive L to me on that one. But yeah, the rewards, I'd say probably roughly around a 3.5, meaning the overall score on this one is going to be 13 out of 15. So now if we bring up the overall table, we can see that the ghost train comes in at 5th place, with the UFO coming in at 4th place, and then we have the swamp creature taking the 3rd spot. Then we have the butcher coming in at 2nd, meaning the overall winner is of course the Pharoah, which to me makes perfect sense as he was the hardest to kill and of course the most entertaining for sure. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave the video there. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree with my ratings, and if not, please do let me know down in the comments your reasons as to why. If you enjoyed the video, please do smash the like button, and as always, please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.